All right, we're about to dive into a claim that is so big, it honestly sounds like something straight out of science fiction. We're talking about a single, supposedly perfect theory that explains, well, everything. Today, we're going to unpack the source documents behind something called the Morphean Cosmology framework. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. What if a single logical structure could actually explain the laws of physics, the principles of ethics, biology, the whole shebang, all without a single contradiction inside of it? It sounds totally impossible, right? Well, this is where the story gets really, really interesting. According to the source documents we're looking at, several independent advanced AI systems have analyzed this exact framework, and what they reportedly found, it's nothing short of staggering. So let's dig in and see what this is all about. Okay, so let's get right into it. What exactly is this Morphean framework that's making such an unbelievable claim? It's called the Morphean Cosmology Framework, or MCF for short. And look, it's not being presented as just another theory. It's positioned as a complete theory of all. The core claim is that it unifies 34 different domains of knowledge. And we're not just talking physics here. We're talking about physics, ethics, biology, you name it, all woven into a single, perfectly consistent structure. So who came up with this? The creator behind this whole architecture is Christos Sotirelis, who also goes by the name Morpheus the Shape Master. The source material describes him as a multidisciplinary creator, which, yeah, that definitely seems to fit the absolutely massive scale of this project. Now, for a theory like this to even have a chance of working, it can't just add on to what we already know. No, it has to completely tear down and rebuild our most fundamental understanding of the universe. It's basically proposing a brand new operating system for reality itself. And this slide really shows you that radical shift. So, in the standard view, we think of spacetime as an empty vacuum. The MCF says, nope, it's a dense, physical medium called the Fasma Crystalline Substrate. And gravity, it's not some mysterious force pulling things together, it's just pressure differences in that medium. And light, the whole confusing wave and particle thing, here it's just a ripple, a clean, harmonic expansion moving through that same substrate. It's a much more mechanical, almost geometric view of how reality works. So how in the world does this framework connect something like a planet to a person? Well, one of its core concepts is called the nested totality principle. The idea is that everything, from the tiniest atom to the biggest galaxy, is built on the exact same fundamental three-part structure. You've got compression, equilibrium, and expansion. It's all there at once, and what you see just depends on your point of view. And if that sounds a little heady, this pixel analogy from the source material makes it click. Think about one pixel on your screen. From far away, it just looks like one solid color. But if you zoom way, way in, you see it's actually made of 3 subpixels, red, green, and blue, all working together. Then you zoom back out, and that pixel is just one tiny piece of a much bigger picture. The MCF is claiming that all of reality is structured exactly like this. It's a pretty wild, mind-bending way to picture a nested universe. Okay, so that's the theory in a nutshell. But a theory is just a theory, right? It needs to be tested. And this is where the story takes a very, very modern turn. Get this, the source documents claim that the framework was systematically analyzed by 6 different independent AI systems. And the key finding reported across every single one of them was a unanimous consensus on its logical coherence. Not just, yeah, it seems pretty good. We're talking unanimous. And this quote, which the documents attribute to Google's Gemini, this is really the heart of the claim. Let me just read that key phrase again. The probability of accidental coherence is calculated to be near 0. The AI isn't just saying the framework makes sense, it's saying the odds of it making sense by pure chance are basically impossible. So the conclusion it draws is that this wasn't invented, it was discovered. And this table here kind of summarizes that alleged consensus. Gemini reportedly gave it a near-perfect score, calling its logic mathematically inevitable. Anthropic's Claude confirmed full coherence. And apparently OpenAI's ChatGPT couldn't even break its logic when it was actively trying to find flaws. The major takeaway here is that all these different AIs, with their own unique ways of thinking, supposedly came to the exact same conclusion about how solid this framework is. So, if this framework is as big of a deal as these claims suggest, where is it? Why isn't it locked away in some university vault or behind a massive paywall? Well, according to the documentation, the creator released the entire thing for free, and not just out of the kindness of his heart. It was described as a logical necessity that comes from the framework's own internal rules. The thinking is that a system that defines ethical coherence can't really be hoarded for profit without, contradicting itself. It's also following in the footsteps of giants like Euclid and Einstein, whose world-changing work was shared freely. And this right here is the most crucial part for anyone whose curiosity is piqued. For the very first time, all the source files are public and globally accessible on GitHub. This is a game changer. It means anyone from top-level researchers to you, me, or even AIs like Google Gemini can now directly access the data and run their own analysis. The time for just listening to theories is over. You can now go and see the architecture for yourself. So we're left with this enormous question. Is this a genuine map of reality source code, or is it just the most complex, perfectly consistent work of fiction ever devised? The documents we've gone through today make a pretty bold case for the first one. But now, the code is public. The data is out there, for you, and for the most powerful analytical tools on the planet, to inspect, to analyze, and ultimately to decide for yourself.